Hi everyone, this is Karen from the Historical Society of Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. In this month's video, we're going to be talking about the Montgomery County Almshouse. The County Almshouse was located in what is today known as Upper Providence Township. It was located right along the banks of the Schuylkill River. The county purchased roughly 265 acres of land from Abraham Gottwald. The county would later purchase an additional 31 acres of land to add to this property for the almshouse. The almshouse started serving Montgomery County in 1808. The county almshouse was designed to help people who did not have enough money to take care of themselves. People who either didn't have a place to stay or required medical treatment would often go to the almshouse. In this time, in the 1800s, people either provided their own medical care through the family if it was a less severe illness, or they sought treatment through their church, or if it was something severe, they would pay for a doctor to come and see them. Those who did not have the money or means to do any of those options ended up going to the almshouse for treatment. The people who stayed at the almshouse are referred to as inmates in the records we have at the Historical Society. People who stayed there were required to work either on the farm that was on the property or in the house itself. Men and women were housed separately at the almshouse unless they were a married couple over the age of 65. Children who were born at the almshouse were allowed to stay with their families until they were old enough to be indentured to local families in the county. By 1882, the state actually passed a law saying that children at the almshouse could only stay for about 60 days if they were between the ages of 2 and 16. This was done so that the county did not have to pay for resources to provide a school at the almshouse for these children. In response to this change, the Children's Aid Society of Montgomery County stepped in so that these children could continue to have an education. By the late 19th century, there were a lot of problems occurring at the almshouse. Some of the leadership positions were using their influences for political rewards. There was overcrowding, small buildings, poor ventilation, and they were even housing African Americans in the basement of the building rather than above ground in a more healthy environment. There had also been 3 separate fires that occurred at the almshouse during that century. Unfortunately, because of the fires, a lot of the earliest records from the almshouse were completely destroyed, so they just don't exist anymore. By 1952, the almshouse, or the county home as it was called at that time, was renamed the Charles Johnson Home. This was a movement towards helping senior citizens instead of just paupers in general. So you see that transition in that time. By 1972, it became the Montgomery County Geriatric and Rehabilitation Center, focusing solely on, again, senior citizens and people who needed rehab. Today, the location houses Park House Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. It obviously is not the original building, but it is on the same property that overlooks the Schuylkill River. When you're at the site, if you look just across the road from the rehabilitation center, you'll see this wide field that's fenced in by a thin wooden fence, and there's a marker in the center. Between 1808 and 1924, an estimated 1,600 people who died at the almshouse were buried at this site. In 1928, the tombstones were removed and the ground was replaced with trees and grass, and one single marker was placed in the center of the site. The Historical Society of Montgomery County actually has a list of many of the people who are buried here in unmarked graves on the site where the old almshouse used to be. The Historical Society also has a couple of ledgers from the almshouse. It includes some of the names of people who lived there. Some include payroll and staff ledgers. The Historical Society of Montgomery County also has a very beautiful painting of the Montgomery County Almshouse as it originally looked. It was created in the 1870s by an artist known as Charles Hoffman. He stayed at the almshouse for a little while and decided to make this painting to, in essence, repay them for helping him out. He was well known for creating paintings of other almshouses in the area as well, and many of his paintings do survive to this day. If you like these videos, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channels so you can be notified when a new video is released. The Historical Society of Montgomery County, Pennsylvania is a private, non-profit library and museum. We're located in Norristown, Pennsylvania, and we rely on the contributions from our members, volunteers, communities, and viewers like you. Your support allows us to continue making these videos so that history can be fun and accessible to the public. If you would like to donate so that we can continue making these videos, you can do so by clicking the donations link in the description section below, which will take you to our main website to make a donation. Thank you so much for your support, and we look forward to seeing you in a future video.